today I'm going to make some chop suey. And I'm going to use a pork tenderloin, which I bought a whole, I bought two of them. They were £1.50 each, and so I cut them all up. That wasn't a lot of fun, I can tell you. But, so now I've got this bacon going, and I'm going to put this on the side. I want that, I wanted to render some of that fat because I want that taste. I've got two frying pans going. The reason is because I've got 3 pounds of meat and it takes too long to watch that. So I cut that all up. I want to show you what I did here. See what this looks like? It's pretty darn heavy. I'm going to put some of that in there. I salted it. I cut it up into little cubes, little pieces for my chop suey. I'm going to put it in this pan too so I can brown some of that meat up. This frying pan, I want to show you. This frying pan here, my mother bought for me when I was just married. And it is a cast iron. This way, it's very heavy, but it's got an enamel finish. But I'll tell you something. It doesn't fry as much. I've got my other skillet here. My cast iron skillet. You hear that sizzle? I mean, it's very different. Okay, so I salted that meat. Salt it all up. Maybe 3 pounds of meat. They were 1.5 pounds each, those pork tenderloins. So I cut them up. And I want to get that going. So, I don't want to take forever with the chop suey meat, okay? And so now, we got to get this meat browned up. And then we start adding our celery and onions and our beaten molasses, a little wine. And then at the end, we throw some water stuff in there. And some bamboo shoots, and oh my God, we're going to have a ball with this meal. All right, so we've got both pans frying up, and when they're all done, we'll get back to you when I start adding my veggies. That pork is still browning, as you can see in both frying pans. And so I don't know if I mentioned, but when I salted the meat, with about 2 teaspoons of salt at least, and then I put some cornstarch. Okay, I put cornstarch on it. I want to get that. I have to toss this up a little better, but I wanted to show that to you. About at least 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, depending on how much you're using. I have 3 pounds of it here. If you buy 1 pork tenderloin, that's not bad at all. It's just that when I make this kind of a thing, I make more because it takes a long time to cook all this up, and you can have it for the whole week. I mean, with a little rice and that, you've got a meal all ready to go. So we'll be back again. Don't forget the cornstarch, and this way the pork gets nice and velvety. Okay, so I browned up 1 frying pan filled with meat, and I have a second one now that I have done, and I'm going to add that to this pot that I'm going to be cooking that chop suey in, and I'm getting ready to do that. So now we're going to, this is the cast iron skillet. I'm going to, sorry that it's not what I wanted. I wanted to show you. I can hardly show it to you that way, can I? Wait, let's see if I can grab a hold of this way. There we are. And if that doesn't want to go down in there, let me loosen those up a little bit. Okay, because they're all beautifully, here, you might as well enjoy this, how this looks. There you are. And I'll go in here a little further. Pot. And there we are. And there we are. So, that meat just really ground up so nice. And so now I am going to add it to this pot over here. I'm going to try it again. Try it again. All right, so here we go. Come on. Come on, boys, in the pool. That's it. All right. I have got that all done up in this pot. Got this pan nice and hot, which is what I want, because I am going to add a little ginger to this. I'll tell you in a minute. It looks like a good tablespoon of ginger into that hot pan. I love this stuff. This comes in this little tube here, and it's great. See, a little ginger. Because I don't like working with it. It's very hard to work with ginger. So there's my ginger. Put that flame up again. I'm going to add my beaded molasses to this. Not all of it. I'm just gonna set this up because this goes into my frying pan first, and then I'll be adding more. Oh, believe me, I'll be adding more of that. And now I'm gonna add some wine, red wine. I have it's about a third of a cup. Third of a cup of wine. I just want to get this blended. Okay, I want it to season that up and pick up all that stuff that's sitting there. And you know, I used 2 frying pans, okay? This one is going to get the same treatment. I'm going to put this into this frying pan because I want to pick up all the goodies from both of these frying pans. So this is kind of extreme. You won't have this problem if you're making a little less, but I get anxious as to all that frying. I didn't want to keep waiting. So that's why I got 2 of them at the same time, going at the same time. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to add it now to this other frying pan. Like so. Oh yeah, this is good. I'm going to add now some soy sauce. A goodly amount. A goodly amount, because this is a lot of. I'm going to put this, how much have I got here? Oh, half a cup. Okay, half a cup so far. Now, I'm going to go around this one more time and add it to this frying pan, because this is the one that's sizzling away right now. And I'm going to switch it in there. And this is all going to go. Where's the rest of that? Soy sauce. Okay, yep. That little bugger is really hot. Now I'm going to move this down. Move it down so you can see what I have here. I have this sauce that I'm building. Okay? Now, so you add your beaded molasses and your soy sauce. Now, the fried pork is already in this pot. I'm going to add, well, I can put it right in here so you can see it. There's the bacon. The bacon, okay. And I am going to add the rest of this molasses, the beaded molasses. I have to get a little spoon for that or something here to get it going. You need at least a jar of beaded molasses, a whole jar. I'm ready to even put, I have a second one ready because I want to get a nice flavor, and of course I make a lot of sauce. A lot of sauce. All right. Gotta get all that out of there. Beaded molasses. Slow as molasses. I'm adding a little more water. Maybe 2 tablespoons more. Alright. So, come on. Come on out. So, I think we did that really good. So, I want to get that to... I want to try this now. You know, I have to try this. What is my little glass? Please, please. Okay, here's my little glass. I don't know if I'm going to add any brown sugar to this. I'm going to see in a minute. I got to check it. Got to check it. Oh, that's plenty strong. That is plenty strong. So now I'm going to add about a half a cup of water. And I would like some more sugar in there. I'm going to get a spoon for that. Gotta be another tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. Okay, so you have your red wine and your a whole jar of that beaded molasses and some soy sauce. About a cup of water altogether is probably what I had added. You won't believe that little piece of apple that I put in that brown sugar that fell out. Okay, so now this sauce is getting bubbly and hot around the edges. I'm going to put this, the meat is in here, okay? I'm going to put that sauce over the meat now, and then I'm going to start, I'm going to let that go for about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to have to check it, how tender it is, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to add my vegetables right now. They would be too mushy. I like them to have a tiny bite to them, you might say. You can see the meat is simmering, covered of course. I uncovered it to show you. It's simmering, and I'm going to be checking it periodically. I'm going to add these garlic cloves that I chopped up. And I would say, oh, I got a little paper there. Okay, so I'm going to put those in there. And there they are. About 8 cloves. And, you know, coarsely chopped. And I'm putting in 3 onions. I'm going to put those in now. I'm going to let that, I'm going to stir that up, and I'm going to get that all going in there, real nice. Alright, the onions, ooh, they add a lot of flavor. And of course that's going to cook down, and the garlic. So you see how you keep layering this, and let that come to a simmer. Now we're going to maybe go another 15 minutes or 20 maybe. It depends how the meat seems to me. And then I'm going to be adding celery. And we're going to put some green onions. That's at the very end. Our green onions and our water chestnuts and our bamboo shoots. Oh boy, boy, boy. I can't wait. See you in a little bit. Okay, the meat is getting to that cutting edge. So I'm going to add about a half a cup of red peppers, okay, that I chopped up, red and yellow peppers. And I'm also going to add, oh wow, I'd say, I don't know, a good 2 cups of, can you see that? Celery. Lots of celery. Okay. So we put that in there. So we've got the garlic, the onions, and now we're adding the celery. Because the meat is getting to that place that I want it to be, nice and tender. That's it. So now we say let it cook and simmer away. All right, so the meat is really nice and tender. And so what I wanted to do yet, I wanted to squeeze a little lemon in there, just because I add lemon to a lot of my sauces because it just, I don't, it just zaps things really nicely, okay? And I've tasted it, and the flavor is really, really right on. What I'm going to do now is I am going to see the water chestnuts. I have water chestnuts and some bamboo shoots and some pea pods I'm going to add, but I want to thicken this sauce a little bit. So I am going to, so in the liquid, I strained the, this one here is the water chestnuts. So I drained the water chestnuts off and kept the liquid, okay? Into that liquid, which is about a half a can, it's right here. It's right here, like you can see. I added 2 teaspoons, this kind of teaspoon, of some, what do you, God, I'm having a senior moment here, of the cornstarch, okay? So 2 teaspoons, at least of corn. Now it's in a simmer, and I'm going to add, I'm adding that, and I'm going to stir it, and because I want to thicken it just a bit. Not that I want it thick, but I don't want it just, you know, really like a water. I want it to be a little thicker sauce. So, okay, so now let's bring that up a little bit. And you stir it in, you keep stirring it in. It's already getting beautiful. It gets velvety, you know, and that's what you want. It gets a velvety look. All right, I'm gonna add the whole thing. So it was, you drain either one, either your bamboo shoots or from the water chestnut water. Use that rather than just using plain water. Okay, so guess what? I gotta check it again because what? We added liquid, we added the lemon. Okay. All right. Flavor's still good, because if it isn't, we can always add a little more beaded molasses, or we could add a little more soy sauce. But I think we're fine. So the meat is tender. So now I'm going to add my bamboo shoots. I'm going to just stir it up. I want to see how it looks. I don't want it to look like it's overpowering this thing. All right, now I'm going to add the water chestnuts. I bought whole ones, so I had to chop them up, but you can get them sliced. I'm using the whole can of water chestnuts. All right, so now I'm going to toss that around, and then I'm going to show you how this is looking. I'm looking because I want to know if I should add the rest of the bamboo shoots. That's always I'm just going to add them. All right, I'm going to add the whole thing. So I added a can of bamboo shoots, a can of water chestnuts. And then the next thing that is going to go in here are my pea pods. Good Lord, pea pods. Ooh, I love them. I love them. And I found that there's a little string, and you're gonna, in fact, there it is. You see that? That little string. So I went over all of them, and I just double check, and no, so these should all be good. And I rinsed them really well, and we're gonna add a handful of pea pods in there. Let's stir that up. This is just layer upon layer upon layer, and this is what your chopped suey, that's what makes it so yummy, right? When we go to these Chinese places and Szechuan and all that, oh my God, you know, I can't get enough of the vegetables. In fact, sometimes I wish there was more in there. Now, I'm going to switch this off so I can show you how the pot looks so far. That's how that looks, guys. That's how that looks. The pea pods, look, the water chestnuts, let's see, the bamboo shoots. Oh my God, that is so good. And you see the gravy? Wait, you see this gravy? You see? It's velvety looking, see? Now you can make it a little thicker even if you want, but I don't want to make much more because I'll tell you what, I like to pour that over my rice when I pile up my chop suey on my rice. I want some, look at that. So, and if you like more, you can do more. Now always remember something. When you add liquid, taste it again. If it needs a little more soy sauce, or it needs a little more of that beaded molasses, or another little squirt of a lemon, I mean, this is what you do. This is tasting. That's what cooking is. You can't just follow any recipe because everything is different, right? Some piece of meat is tougher than others. One you have to keep in the oven longer, blah, blah, blah. It's all that kind of thing that goes on into cooking. So that's it, and soon we're going to plate that up over the rice, and that will be pretty good. For an extra garnish with your chop suey, saute a half a head of cabbage, sliced real thin as you can slice it, and put about a tablespoon of sesame oil in the bottom of the pan. Sprinkle a little salt around, a little garlic pepper, little garlic powder. Now, we're not talking even a teaspoon of each. Just shake it around 2-3 times. And some crushed red pepper flakes. So it's garlic powder, garlic pepper, red pepper flakes in a frying pan with just a little bit of sesame oil. Okay, and then you put this around for color with your rice and your chopped suey. And we'll put sprinkled green onions on top of that too. So we'll all plate this up and you'll get to see how it looks. Plated up that chop suey that we made this afternoon with some jasmine rice and a little stir fry of red cabbage in sesame oil, just a tad bit of sesame oil and some hot pepper flakes. Put away that fork and knife. It's chopstick time.